Well. Hello, everybody. Vincent here with Camp Kaiju. I'm going to turn the reins over to Mr. Peter Lorre here before you know it, but I just wanted to say a few things about our upcoming rest of the year, season 5, part 2. Here we go, folks. Hello and welcome to Camp Kaiju Monster Movie Podcast. We are your hosts, Vincent Hannum
and Matt Levine.
And we are talking about all of our favorite monster movies, the good, the bad, and the downright campy, and asking if they stand the test of time.
Traditional kaiju, creature features, space invaders, the supernatural, and everything in between. All strange beasts welcome here.
Yeah, this is Peter Lorre speaking.
I couldn't resist the temptation to call you. I just read of your new picture that you're to make.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Thanks for your interest.
Oh, I thought you were magnificent in M. And just the other night I saw your new picture, The Man Who Knew Too Much. What character are you going to play in?
Oh, it's the most unusual story. You know, it's a great love drama. I am to be a half-mad scientist. I, a poor peasant, have conquered science. Why can't I conquer love? He shall be shut up when it's I who am mad. But nobody knows that. Yes, each man kills the thing he loves.
For those of you who have not yet listened to our episode, Ibira, Horror of the Deep, at the end of that episode, me and Matt do reveal our upcoming lineup. And what those are at first, I'll just give you a little teaser. Coming up next week already is Congo from 1995, based on a Michael Crichton novel about killer gorillas in Africa in the jungle. It's an expedition, pulpy adventure film. Ernie Hudson is in it, and Laura Linney, and Tim Curry, and some talking gorillas. Yeah, you gotta see it to believe it. It's a wild time. After that, in August, later this month, we will continue our creature feature trend with Jaws 2, which I am excited to talk about. I know Matt is too. You know, the sequel to arguably one of the greatest movies of all time. How does Jaws 2 hold up? Well, we're going to watch it. We're going to discuss it. And then after that, we have some traditional kaiju. We have some King Kong movies. We have a Guillermo del Toro flick. We have some classic Universal monsters. So a lot of exciting things coming up. But again, I'm going to direct you to our episode on Ibira, Horror of the Deep. And you know what? Feel free to skip ahead to the last 15, 20 minutes. I won't know if you do, but so go ahead and do it and hear what's in store. You can also follow us on camp_kaiju_podcast on Instagram, where I will also be sharing information about the upcoming season. You can follow us on patreon.com/campkaiju. You're definitely going to get some insider baseball there about what's coming up. So lots of ways to support Camp Kaiju. We love you for that support. We got to shout out our patrons who contribute every month to keep this engine rolling. And that's not me just, talking out my rear end there. Honestly, we appreciate everything you do. We have ads up at the Riverview Theater in Minneapolis. We have a lot of overhead with editing software that you are able to provide and so much more. So honestly, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Beast Drool. Thank you, Chris B. Thank you, our anonymous patron. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Peggy. We hope you enjoyed the magnets. And we want to hear from you. And all your favorite monster movies, things you'd like to have us cover on the show. And those of you who do chime in, again, much appreciated. And we hope you're having a great summer. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Peter Lorre. For those of you who don't know, this episode is kind of a compilation of these segments Mr. Lorre has been recording about Poverty Row horror movies, which is the term for a number of studios in Hollywood in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, right? You had the major studios, think about Universal, Warner Brothers, MGM, and then across town, you had the B movies, the B movie studios, just churning out kind of quantity over quality. Republic Pictures, PRC, and these studios, Monogram, how could I forget? But these studios really, their forte were horror films and thrillers. And these horror films are so bare bones with their budget, their threadbare effects. Like when the bat flies on screen, you can see the strings type of stuff. But with that said, many of them are very charming films. Many of them are weird, and I mean strange pictures about mad scientists turning into gorillas, werewolves, zombie gangsters. And that, I mean, that's kind of the beauty of these Poverty Row studios, where, you know, they didn't have the budget that Universal did, but they made up for it with some really outside the box imagination, because they weren't hemmed in by all the other restraints that come with some of the major studios at the time. They ain't worried about the critics, let me put it that way. So it's been a really enlightening, informative, entertaining series from Mr. Lorre, who gets to talk about Bela Lugosi and George Zuko and Dwight Fry and Boris Karloff, John Carradine, kind of a who's who, rogues gallery of classic horror cinema. So if you haven't checked out any of these movies, do so. They're all in public domain, of course, all on YouTube. Tubi, that's where I'm watching. But give this episode a listen, get caught up to speed, and then stick around and listen to each of our other episodes. Even if you've never seen, say, Congo, well, tune in for the continuing adventures of Peter Lorre and all the hijinks he gets into. We hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy. Matt hopes you enjoy. And until next time, stay campy. Now we're going to turn it over to Peter Lorre.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together, we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances, but with enough ghosts, zombies, ape-men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show, and I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. Hello, listeners, and thank you for joining me in this new segment as we scrape the bottom of the Hollywood barrel. What we find may be questionable, but keep an open mind. Some of our favorite monsters live in the quagmire of our psyches. If I may introduce myself, I am Peter Lorre. You may know me from such films as The Beast with Five Fingers and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. This week on the Poverty Row Picture Show, Oh, yes, that is right, of course. Listeners, allow me to introduce my assistant. No, Pierre, you are not a co-host. I don't care what imaginations you harbor in that insignificant brain of yours. My apologies, listeners. This is Pierre, my little rodent friend and one-time would-be assassin. It is a tale of horror and bloodshed that I will share as we get to know each other a little better throughout the season. Now, as I was saying, this week on the Poverty Row Picture Show, I am discussing the 1940 horror comedy Boys of the City from Monogram Pictures. This dreadful affair stars the lovably dim-witted gang of orphans known as the East End Kids. They made dozens of screwball pictures throughout Hollywood's golden age. Boys of the City finds the rascals solving a ghostly murder mystery in a mansion in the country. Hilarity ensues when gangsters arrive with their own schemes and desires for fame and desires for riches. Now, the film is directed by Joseph H. Lewis, a director of later distinction, and despite the overall technical deficiencies, the ensemble offers enough charm for what it is worth. However, where I cannot in good faith recommend this movie is in its portrayal of the one black character of the gang, played by Sunshine Sammy Morrison. Oh, my friends, fellow listeners, there are some regrettable moments of racial caricature that are scarier than any of the ghostly goings-on. I can only hope that future East End Kid installments are more sensitive in this manner. But only time will tell. No, Pierre, you should not laugh at any of this. This was a terrible moment in the film. That what you are referencing. Don't ever do that again in my presence, please. What is the matter with you? Go do whatever it is that the little podcasting rats do. Anyways, next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we serve up our first mad scientist feature, a Boris Karloff movie known as The Ape. It promises to be some serious monkey business. You'll simply go bananas over this tale of crazed madness and monkeying around.
Matt, is that someone by the door looking in your window? Is it like a little squat German-looking fella with
Oh my God.
bowl cut?
I think it might be. I think so.
Oh, he's in the room behind you.
Hello, Matthew.
Oh my God, Peter.
Hi. I just don't mind me. I gotta get to the bucket of fish heads in the refrigerator.
We forgot to feed you. I'm so sorry, man.
That's okay. Now I can leave the podcasting booth so I can just help myself come and go. Maybe in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep. Try not to disturb you, but just know that I'll be creeping around.
Well, I'm probably not going to sleep at all tonight if I think about you creeping around my bedroom in the middle of the night. But, it's cool. You're welcome. You can come in.
Well, believe me, Matthew, I am not as scary as some of these Poverty Row Picture Show movies that I'll be talking about tonight or today, this week. I'll be talking about The Ape from Monogram, a truly fiendish film starring Boris Karloff from 1940. But I gotta get back to my booth now and get ready to record, and I gotta munch on these fish heads.
Well, I can't wait to hear it, Peter. Good luck. It's going to be amazing as always.
Okay, goodbye.
Ausgezeichnet. Goodbye.
You got to meet him. There he was.
Yeah.
In your room.
He kind of startled me a little bit, but it happens.
So I didn't know you gave him a key or what?
I didn't. No, so I'm a little unsettled right now. I don't know how he got into my apartment, but it's cool. I guess he's a welcome guest from now on.
All right, that's it. You're living with Peter Lorre.
Yeah, it's going to be in the name of my autobiography, Living with Peter Lorre.
That's good. Okay, well, we got some more fun coming up, everybody. After Peter Lorre talks with the Poverty Row Picture Show, we're going to come up to my fun little game here.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances, but with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show, and I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. Listeners, oh my goodness, if you've ever tasted Matthew's fish heads, you'd know what a delicacy I have here. He is really a swell guy for taking me in the way he has. I tell you, I have come a long way since the imprisonment I suffered last season. I tell you, these fish heads. All right, enough monkey business. Let's get to The Ape, starring Boris Karloff. This film from Monogram Pictures stars the legend in his only Poverty Row outing. Karloff had just starred in the previous year's Son of Frankenstein with Universal, and his star was bigger than ever. In The Ape, Karloff plays a seemingly innocent doctor who is searching for a cure for polio. However, a gorilla has recently escaped the circus and begins murdering the townsfolk. Karloff's doctor then uses the spinal fluid from these victims to complete the life-saving medicine. Karloff and the gorilla are truly a dastardly duo until the finale's shocking twist. It will put you over a barrel of monkeys. It is so bananas. Now, The Ape is no King Kong, but it does offer plenty of campiness to make it worth your while. And Karloff rises above the material with a subdued yet sincere performance. He leaves all the absurdity to the ape, here played by Ray Corrigan, an actor we will see again play the part of a fiendish killer gorilla, an entire genre popular with the Poverty Row Studios. The screenplay for The Ape was co-written by screenwriter Kurt Siodmak, who was just getting started in Hollywood. But after The Ape, he would make a name for himself writing The Wolfman, I Walked with a Zombie, Donovan's Brain, and older classics. Well, as for The Ape, I guess we all have to start somewhere. Next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we now turn our attention to the skies and cover our necks from the impending attack of the Devil Bat, a Bela Lugosi movie from PRC that makes The Ape look like a nominee for Best Picture. Yes, listeners, keep hanging in there and you will witness some truly batty filmmaking when a rat with wings is turned into a rampaging hellspawn of Satan. Speaking of, where has my own little vermin friend run off to? Oh no, dear listeners, I do not like it when Pierre hides from me. He cannot be trusted. No, do not let your guard down. Not since the incident last season with the meat cleaver. Welcome to Poverty Row Studios, on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. In Season 4 of Camp Kaiju, I was unceremoniously resurrected from my grave by Matthew and Vincent, and I was forced into reviewing monster movies of the silent era in exchange for my eventual freedom. I lived, worked, and ate fish heads in this recording booth that soon became its own kind of eternal sarcophagus of hell. As I marked the days until my freedom, a little mouse burrowed its way into my prison. Sporting a friendly smile and an off-color sense of humor, this rodent, whose name was Pierre, soon became not only my bosom buddy, but my lifeline to the outside world. All this changed one fateful evening, when Pierre was overcome with murderous envy for my natural broadcasting abilities. He attacked me with a meat cleaver, and things have never been quite the same. And now, well, I suppose I better get back to the Poverty Row picture, but I have not seen Pierre around, and flashbacks to that terrible night flash before my eyes. Listeners, beware of little mousy feet scurrying in the night. Now, until the rat bastard shows his face, let us enjoy the antics of a certain rat with wings known as the Devil Bat, starring Bela Lugosi from Poverty Row Studio Producers Releasing Corporation, better known as PRC. This studio was the poorest of the bunch, but that did not prevent Bela Lugosi from a string of leading roles in their horror endeavors. The Devil Bat may just be the best of the bunch. Lugosi stars as an amiable scientist with a mad secret. He has been breeding enormous bats for the purpose of exacting revenge on those business associates who have cheated him out of a fortune. These bats have been conditioned to seek out the pungent odor of a certain aftershave that Lugosi tricks his victims into applying onto their necks. Dracula, move over, there's a new blood-sucking monster in town, and it is a giant rubber prop on strings screaming bloody murder. Truly, listeners, The Devil Bat is essential viewing for fans of classic horror movies. And while critically dismissed in its day, The Devil Bat nevertheless spawned rip-offs and its own sequel. The popular appeal is no doubt thanks to Lugosi, who delivers a signature deadpan performance in an otherwise campy picture where you'll find yourself laughing at the dramatic action and groaning through the attempts at comedic relief. It's really a joy of motion picture making and a breath of fresh air as we delve into the depths of classic schlock. Next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we will discuss another Lugosi film from PRC called The Invisible Ghost, in which Lugosi plays another friendly town leader beset with madness. This time over the disappearance of his wife. But is she really gone? Stay tuned to find out.
Of the dead.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
Now you see him. Now you don't. Hold your breath and save your laughs when Bela Lugosi, that master of horror, meets those gloom-busting East Side kids. Even a respectable ghost gets a nervous breakdown.
It says here that in the night he prowls about seeking new victims, and in the daytime he sleeps in a coffin.
Well, let's wait till daytime, huh?
We ain't waiting for nothing. We're going right now. Go ahead, open it. Oh, you open it. Maybe they ain't supposed to be open till Christmas.
Who are you? You don't remember me. But 20 years ago in this very house, you scared the health out of me. No!
When an animal attacks a human, there's bound to be a lot of noise.
But I, as a scientist, take many things into consideration a layman might overlook.
Ever smelled anything like this before? Found it in Don Morton's bathroom.
Well, yes. That's the same stuff that's been on every one of the Devil Bat's victims.
All four of the murdered people had this lotion on them when the Devil Bat struck.
Leighton, I'm afraid all these murders have affected your mind.
Now, my plan is to sit in the garden, and when the killer makes one of those power dives, I'll blast him.
Tonight you have work to do. It's time you were on your way.
got to catch him prowling after dark.
Think he's still hanging around the village?
He got Mason, didn't he? And we found new tracks up around Dr. Adrian's house.
Maybe we men of science think different from other people, but if they ever find out in the village what you've been doing...
You mean about the animals?
Yes, some of the dogs have been missed.
Well, that phase of the experiment is all over.
That ape seems to take a fancy to your place. Now, don't take offense, Doctor. I'm just trying to clear up my mind. Them dogs of mine have been sniffing ape for days. It's made them foolish, I guess. Else why'd they snarl at you?
Hey, Doc, what are you going to do to me? I'm going to write you into medical history.
Welcome to the Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together, we will watch the best of the worst, movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances, but with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show, and I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. And perhaps this week's movie, Invisible Ghost, could be the first to challenge your droopy eyelids at the end of a hard day's work. This film is the second of 9 pictures that Bela Lugosi made with quintessential Poverty Row Studio PRC. By 1941, Bela Lugosi was relegated to minor supporting roles in the horror films at Universal Studios. But on Poverty Row, producers eager for even the dimmest of stars readily gave Lugosi top billing in their pictures. For Lugosi, it was truly better to be a king in hell than a servant in heaven. And while The Devil Bat was a hit, his follow-up project, Invisible Ghost, leaves much to be desired in the ways of... Oh, well, hello, Pierre. And what is it you are holding behind your... A bouquet of flowers. Lilacs, my favorite. No, Pierre, there is nothing wrong. I was just concerned about your whereabouts these several weeks. And how is your skin holding up? Breaking it in. Yes, that makes sense, Pierre. Oh, all right, I will see you later. Yes, my place at Matthew's. Oh, he will let you in, I am sure. Well, farewell, Pierre, my little rodent friend. Listeners, listen closely. Pierre has returned with a peace offering, or so it would seem. Time will tell if he can be trusted since that fateful night with the meat cleaver. That night where I overpowered him and turned the cleaver on my friend. I thought that was the end until I returned to Camp Kaiju and discovered that my producers had stitched Pierre back together like a furry Humpty Dumpty from hell. And now Pierre's smile lives forever fixed on his face and burned into my nightmares. Well, allow me to place these lilacs in a vase while I continue to review Invisible Ghost. The film was directed by Joseph H. Lewis, whom we discussed on Boys of the City. Here, too, Lewis valiantly imbues the picture with camera flourishes and dramatic lighting. However, the film cannot overcome its nonsensical story, whereby Lugosi mourns his wife whom he thought had run away, but who secretly lives on the premises. And when Lugosi sees her, he is bewitched into a murderous fugue state. Night after night this happens, and as the bodies mount, you are left wondering why A, folks are still living in the house, and B, why the detective does not suspect Lugosi. Shamefully, the film takes on unintentional menace when the police are willing to apprehend the one black character for the crimes, until Lugosi sees his wife and drops into his crazed somnambulance. Overall, Invisible Ghost will leave you scratching your head. However, Lugosi and Clarence Muse, who plays Evans the butler, provide enough charm to endure this 60-minute cavalcade of confusion. It will leave you wanting to know what is next on the Poverty Row Picture Show. Well, listeners, it is our first zombie movie called King of the Zombies.
Matt, have you heard of King of the Zombies?
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
This movie, Poverty Row horror film that Peter Lorre is going to dish on. This movie, King of the Zombies, let me tell you what, it has some problematic depictions of African Americans as a zombie movie would from the 30s and 40s. With that said, there are some images that make it an interesting watch. And this movie has a score that was nominated for an Academy Award.
Wow. Is it a worthy nomination? Did you like the music?
I did not notice the music.
Okay.
But then I did read that factoid about it. It's like a lot of jungle drums and rhythmic beatings.
Sounds highly questionable.
Yeah, like how much more do I have to say? But
yeah. I think 1941 is also the year that I Walked with a Zombie came out, which we talked about on the podcast before, and which I really love. There's some questionable stuff in that movie too, but I think the overall intention, not to go on too much of a tangent, is to, condemn imperialism and slavery and kind of depict the white colonizers in that movie as totally messed up and just like burdened with guilt. And yeah, that's a fascinating movie. I would imagine that King of the Zombies maybe is not quite as complex as I Walked with a Zombie, but I could be wrong.
Maybe not, but Mr. Lorre, let us turn it over to you.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. I am your host, Peter Lorre. You may know me from such horror pictures as Mad Love and Roger Corman's The Raven. If only I had been cast in this week's feature entitled King of the Zombies. After the initial casting of Bela Lugosi fell through, Monogram Studios reached out to me to play the leading role. Alas, I had other obligations. Oh, what could have been? I've always wanted to play in a zombie picture, and the chance to play opposite the wonderfully talented Mandan Moreland would have been an honor. Oh, but listeners, I get ahead of myself. We must begin with a little plot synopsis No, sorry, I don't mean to be distracted by those lilacs that Pierre had gifted me last time on the show, but no, it couldn't be. Did they move? No, it must have been a shadow, a trick of the light, my rational brain clouded by paranoia. No, I am positive these are just your everyday, run-of-the-mill, immobile flower cuttings. They smell wonderful. Okay, anyways. Thank you for bearing with me. So, King of the Zombies tells the tale of 3 Americans who are piloting a reconnaissance plane over the Caribbean. The two pilots are clearly buddies, and the third is the valet, played by African-American comedian Mandan Moreland. Naturally, the trio get lost, crash land on an island, and run afoul of a mysterious Nazi agent practicing voodoo to control a population of native zombies for nefarious deeds. Along the way, Mandan Moreland provides comic relief that is problematic in its minstrel presentation, and yet you can't help but appreciate the energy and the charm the actor brings to an otherwise lifeless picture. Did you know King of the Zombies was even nominated for an Academy Award? Yes, it's true, for Best Original Score. As dubious as it may seem, it adds an additional bit of novelty to this movie. King of the Zombies is a Poverty Row horror film that throws too many wild ideas into the mix to be ignored. Check this one out, friends, and let me know what you think of Mr. Moreland's performance, of the rhythmic beating of the drums, and if I should have been in this movie. You can be honest. I can take it. I swear to all that is unholy. Next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we will revisit those East End kids as they get mixed up in a haunted house stalked by none other than Bela Lugosi and the dwarf assistant in a film called Spooks Run Wild.
Peter Lorre, he's around here somewhere. Is he still crashing at your place, Matt?
He vanished, much like Richard Stanley at the airport in Australia. I don't know where he went. He's probably at a retreat somewhere around here. Who knows? Eating his bucket of fish heads, though, I'm sure.
I would love to see what kind of retreat he's going to for long deceased horror stars.
Probably just the bottom of a well somewhere. That's what he means by retreat.
Well, wherever he's at, he has recorded a segment for us for the Poverty Row Picture Show, a movie called Spooks Run Wild from 1941. That sounds made up, but it's a fun movie, actually, with Bela Lugosi and the East End Kids. And there's another dwarf actor in that, actually, named Angelo Rossito. So just a coincidence there. We're featuring two movies with smaller, shorter than average actors. So, Peter, take it away.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. I am your host, Peter Lorre. You may know me from such horror pictures as Arsenic and Old Lace and Tales of Terror. The later of which I co-star with fellow creatures of the night, that villainous Vincent Price and Basil Skull and Crossbones Rathbone. I recently met up with my blood-curdling colleagues at a secret retreat for long-dead horror icons. No, I swore an oath to keep our antics under wraps, but I can tell you I have never seen anyone tear up a dance floor like Boris Karloff after one too many. But listeners, it is good to be back in my own room, in Matthew's home. He even had a bucket of fish heads waiting for me. He is a hell of a guy. Oh, as for Pierre, he is taking some time off, but remember those lilacs he so thoughtfully left me? Yes, they are thriving beyond my wildest dreams. I came home to find them as tall as I, and... Oh, what is this? Listeners, there is a strange light emanating from the leaves. I turn off the light, and they glow in the dark. I do not know what this is all about, but I will put this out of my mind for now as I turn to reviewing this week's Poverty Row picture, Spooks Run Wild, starring Bela Lugosi and that gang of grotesque teenagers, the East End Kids. Now, this picture finds the kids solving the mystery of the, quote, monster killer as they spend the night in a countryside haunted house. Hijinks abound as the kids run into cobwebs, suits of armor, and secret passageways. Lugosi plays the supposed monster along with his dwarf sidekick. Now, how does this story of hilarious suspense end? You will have to see for yourself. The last time we saw the East End Kids on the Poverty Row Picture Show was the odious Boys of the City, rife with racist jabs at the lone black actor of the troupe, Sunshine Sammy Morrison. How does Mr. Morrison fare in this outing? I am pleased to say much, much better. The problematic jokes are still there, albeit turned down, and Mr. Morrison appears more confident in his presence in the gang, allowing such teasing to roll off his back. He even gets some good zingers back at his friends. The script is co-written by Carl Foreman, who would go on to write the classics High Noon and The Bridge on the River Kwai. Believe it or not. Now, as for Bela Lugosi, he holds his own and appears to enjoy spoofing his vampire image. The picture was a moneymaker despite mixed reviews, and Monogram decided to reunite Lugosi and the kids in 1943's Ghosts on the Loose, which we will review at a later date. Next time, however, we will discuss a John Carradine picture from PRC entitled Bluebeard. Now, where did I put my planting shears?
Yeah, so glad he's back, by the way. I kind of thought that ended at the end of last season, but I'm glad that he's back.
We couldn't keep him away.
Just when you think he's out. No, that quote doesn't work in this case. Sorry, never mind. You know what I'm getting at, though.
When I was listening to the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms episode the other day, all the stuff about the fish heads in Matt's fridge was making me laugh pretty hard.
And it's true. I cannot get the stench out of my apartment. It's terrible.
Oh, gross.
I love the Peter Lorre thing.
Say goodbye, Jules. You never left me without saying goodbye.
No clues, no fingerprints, no motive, nothing.
But surely if a man was choked to death, there would be imprints on his throat.
Why in the world do you stay in this place?
We can't leave.
Matt, did you know Peter Lorre has a growing lilac in his room, which I think is across the hall from your room?
I did not know that. I thought I could detect a faint whiff of floral bouquet coming from his, his tiny little dungeon there, but I did not know that, no.
Yeah, I mean, next time like he's out of the house, don't tell him I said this, but I may check on it. He says it's starting to like emanate like a glow, like a radioactive glow. It might be getting bigger for all the wrong reasons. So I don't know. Just check in on him.
All right. I'm a little scared. It might be like a Little Shop of Horrors scenario, I think.
I think so, but he's never seen that movie, so I don't know if he knows what he's getting into.
Yeah. Oh man, poor Peter. All right. I'll check on his safety as well as the lilac as soon as I can.
Okay. Thank you. We look out for each other here, listeners, at Camp Kaiju. But Peter Lorre is going to talk about the 1944 movie called Bluebeard from PRC or Monogram Pictures. Don't remember which, but it stars John Carradine. He's a serial killer / puppeteer. And this movie actually has quite a reputation. Have you heard of Edgar G. Ulmer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he directed this movie.
That sounds great. I'm very excited to hear Peter's thoughts about that. Edgar G. Ulmer also directed Detour, which is a great film noir.
Yeah, so I'll let Mr. Lorre dish on all that, but yeah, interesting stuff coming up.
Cool. Thank you, Peter, as always. Dankeschön.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. I am your host, Peter Lorre. You may remember me and my sultry voice from such pictures as The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart and The Invisible Agent, where I played a Japanese agent for Universal. Well, I'm gonna move on from that one. This week on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we review a film called Bluebeard from PRC, starring John Carradine as a traveling puppet master who abducts and murders unsuspecting women in the streets of Victorian Paris. Oh yes, this is some sundry escapades this week, my friends. In the same vein as Hitchcock's The Lodger, which of course was based on the Jack the Ripper murders in the 1880s in London. But I digress. Bluebeard is a film directed by Edgar G. Ulmer, a fellow Austrian and a film director with a now renowned legacy for shooting dark mysteries on limited budgets. He directed 1934's The Black Cat for Universal and allegedly worked on the classics The Golem, Metropolis, and Now, I starred in the latter picture, and these rumors are unconfirmed. Sorry to disappoint, but this Frank Capra of PRC turns in a slick historical noir in Bluebeard with John Carradine in the lead. Now, Carradine at this time was known for his powerfully intimidating screen presence in horror films. And in this one, he looms over his co-stars with a steely glare. And when he laughs, you are deeply unsettled, for you know his character is merely playing a part, and that the young ladies do not stand a chance. Bluebeard was actually a film 10 years in development, originally a script to follow up with Ulmer's The Black Cat. Eventually, Universal passed on the project, and with it, the chance for Ulmer to work again with Karloff. But now, with PRC, This film is as much of an A picture as the studio would ever release, and its reviews were good, and it did prove a money maker. Today it is often considered Ulmer's second best outing, next to Detour, the 1944 film noir classic, which established the director's reputation as an auteur. Now, the most amazing aspect of Bluebeard, and which speaks to Ulmer's talents, is that Ulmer shot the picture in a mere 6 days. Now that is the mark of a master. Next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we review a film entitled Black Dragons, starring Bela Lugosi in a sinister movie about Japanese and Nazi mad scientists. No, I do not play one of either of those types of people. I have learned my lesson looking back on some of the roles I have played in my filmography. I'll let you look into those titles at your own risk. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must trim the leaves of my glowing lilacs. They have grown to the size of palm fronds, and I am doing my best to keep these monster plants hidden from Matthew. I fear he would prefer to get rid of them, these plants, from Pierre. They oh, how they baffle me so.
Well, we are going to turn it over to Peter Lorre. He's somewhere trimming his lilacs. He's dealing with some kind of crazy thing. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he is going to talk about the 1942 Poverty Row movie called Black Dragons.
Whoa.
It's a World War II horror film starring Bela Lugosi. It involves mad scientists, Japanese scientists, Nazi scientists. I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to learn something, and I always learn something on the Poverty Row Picture Show.
Yeah, Peter's very knowledgeable about film history. I always learn a lot from him.
He was there.
Yeah. True. First-hand knowledge. Yep. I hope he's doing all right. Is it trimming his lilacs? Is that a euphemism for something? It sounds kind of dirty.
No, he has a lilac bush.
Okay.
It's growing to monstrous proportions. Get your head out of the gutter. What are you talking about?
It just sounded like it. Maybe I watched Species 2 recently. That's probably why. My mind's still in the gutter.
No, I mean, I know what I said.
Yeah. I'm going to have to research that phrase now. It has a hidden meaning of some kind.
You're just going to find a picture of Peter Lorre.
That'd be okay. I would not be disappointed in that at all.
Okay, before we conjure up any other dubious images.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst, movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances, but with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show, and I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. I am your host, Peter Lorre. You may remember me from such motion pictures as the Mr. Moto series I did for 20th Century Fox. Yes, in 8 pictures, I played the hard-boiled Japanese secret agent, Mr. Moto. And if you are thinking to yourself, but wait, Peter Lorre is not Japanese, then you are correct. It was a different time when cowardly Hollywood executives would not cast Asians as such heroic characters. And this prejudice would be cemented with the outbreak of war between the Empire of Japan and the United States in 1941. Another consequence of the war, understandably, was the proliferation of propaganda in Hollywood pictures. This week's movie, Black Dragons, is perhaps the first major movie to capitalize on the rah-rah wartime spirit. It is about the real-life, notorious society known as the Black Dragons of Japan, a ruthless criminal organization, as they concoct a devilish scheme with the Nazis. The Black Dragons instruct a brilliant scientist, Dr. Melcher, played by Bela Lugosi, to travel to Japan on a secret mission. There, he operates on 6 Japanese conspirators, transforming them to resemble 6 American leaders. The actual Americans are then murdered and replaced with their likenesses. Treachery and espionage ensue. Now, this film was rushed into production only a month after Pearl Harbor, and the finished product does reflect this hurried schedule. Dear listeners, I do not exaggerate when I tell you how poorly executed this movie is. Lack of budget can hardly be blamed for the sloppiness on screen. Plot points are contradictory, actors are lifeless, and the camera work doesn't do anything to heighten the would-be tension or clear up any confusion. But you know what? This movie literally ends with a big ol' American flag waving triumphantly over the nefarious Japanese agents. It is a heck of an exclamation point, and somehow the most memorable part of a film with so much potential. To watch Black Dragons, you will either be a die-hard horror fan or die trying to make sense of it all. Oh, hello, my lovely giant lilac. Is it feeding time already? Well, dear listeners, if you'll excuse me, I must take care of my plant. It is growing remarkably well here in the apartment. No, Matthew doesn't need to know. I have everything entirely under my control. Until next time, when we will be watching yet another Bela Lugosi picture called The Corpse Vanishes.
Vincent, how's Peter Lorre doing these days?
Last I heard, he watched a terribly boring movie called Black Dragons. But, I'll let Mr. Lorre talk about that. He did so in our last episode. This week, he's talking about a movie with another great title, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. It's called The Corpse Vanishes from 1942.
Ooh, that is a great title.
Yeah. Where did it go?
Yeah. Good question. Hopefully Peter can tell us.
I hope it's, and of course Bela Lugosi's in this movie. He's in all of these Poverty Row films. But I hope it's just Bela Lugosi around a haunted house yelling, "Where did it go?"
It'd be sort of like an art movie from Poverty Row, Like this Bela Lugosi in one room for an hour and a half. Actually, it would probably be like 58 minutes knowing these Poverty Row movies.
Oh, yeah, at max, yeah.
Yeah.
But Peter's good, He's doing things in his room that, I hope he's doing okay. There's glowing radiation coming from his room. I could see it right now behind you.
Whoa.
Down the hallway. Yeah, radiation. There's the smell of lilacs.
Maybe he's going to turn into Gamera. He's unleashed from the Arctic ice.
That would take a turn.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, hey, we're riffing here. So,
Poor Peter, man.
Keep the fish heads a-coming.
Yeah. They're going to start mutating, though, with all that radiation coming out of there. Start flopping around on their own.
All right. Well, on that note,
welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances, but with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. I am your host, Peter Lorre. You may remember me from such films as The Beast with 5 Fingers and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. This week, I am bringing to you a wonderfully campy picture called The Corpse Vanishes. Where did it go? You will have to see for yourself. But rest assured, this movie delivers the goods. My blood-sucking contemporary, Bela Lugosi, bedevils a wisecracking reporter who is investigating a rash of murders involving would-be brides on their wedding days. The common clue linking the deaths is a dubious orchid that we come to understand was grown by Lugosi's mad horticulturist character. But it is not just the chemical compositions of flowers he is meddling with, but also his ancient wife, whose youthful complexion is rejuvenated with the blood of the murdered brides. The film is altogether diabolical, and yet it does not know just how silly it is all presented. The Corpse Vanishes was produced by Monogram Pictures in 1942. It co-stars Elizabeth Russell as Lugosi's wife, desperate for the anti-aging serum. Now, Russell had a reputation in the 40s for playing strong characters with nefarious intent. Her brief appearance in Val Lewton's Cat People, for instance, remains a highlight of that film. Now, The Corpse Vanishes is no Cat People, but it remains worth your time if only to witness a mystery that leaves characters and audiences alike in stitches. Yes, my lovely Lilac. Of course, the real star of The Corpse Vanishes is the orchid. I did not mean to presume otherwise. Hey, whoa, hey now. When did you grow such fangs? Here, have a fish head. Yikes, listeners, this lilac is certainly testing its limits. If you'll excuse me, it is feeding time now, and I have learned that at this hour in the moonlight, my not so little lilac tends to have a mind of its own. But I will return next time with a picture called Mad Monster. Back, Lilac, back, get back, yeah.
To love, honor, and obey, until death do you part.
I do.
Shall I telephone for the ambulance?
No. The undertaker. She's dead.
Mysterious murder strikes at the altar, and the maniac monster creeps from his domicile of death to claim the lifeless form of his latest bride. Police baffled, a public in terror, but nothing can stop this fiend on his hideous trail except a girl reporter who wages a brave, foolhardy fight against the blackest art this side of the grave.
Why have you a mausoleum in the basement? All those dead girls and that horrible dead creature.
My dear, you must have had a bad dream.
Now look, Professor, this was no dream. You wanted to see me, Reverend?
Suicide or murder in the shadow of a nation's capital. The screen's master of horror, Bela Lugosi, has the answer to this mysterious death. Lugosi as the madman on a mission of vengeance. Vengeance against 6 men. who plot destruction of a country at war.
You've turned weakling, Van Dyke. We can't afford to take any chances with you.
You were both very accommodating, Mr. Ryder.
Thank you.
When a young woman's nerves commenced to give way, it is time she sought refuge in a strong man's arms.
I just ran into yours.
Mine might be dangerous.
Alice, you were right. There was a body in the cellar last night.
You know that?
I'm positive of it. Only there were two bodies.
At last we meet. And then, what shall I call you? Saki.
Matt, how's life with Peter?
Oh, it's a little bit rough sometimes, let me tell you. There's some friction. No. Yeah.
Like the odd couple here.
Trouble in paradise. That's all I'll say. It's tough cohabitating with somebody, especially diminutive German fiend. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Diminutive German fiends. Well, I hope he doesn't hear you call him that.
I heard like a shriek from the room behind me, so I think he is listening in right now. He's not very happy, and I think things are about to get even worse. So I will bear the brunt of that.
Well, I don't think I've told you. I mean, I should. You're privy to this. You're his roommate, for goodness sake. So this lilac he's growing, he got word out to me that it is reaching the ceiling now, and it's grown fangs. And it's squawking, and it demands fish heads.
Oh.
And I try to get through to Peter, but I don't live with the guy, so maybe you have his ear a little bit more, and you could really kind of talk him down from this. I don't think this lilac is good for him.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That could be what the shrieking is right now. It might be totally unrelated to me and more about the fanged lilac in his tiny closet. That could be. I'll try to talk him down. I'll try to produce some more fish heads. Let me tell you, it does not feel good to decapitate dozens of fish every week.
I didn't know you prepared them.
Oh yeah, lovingly. I mean, I try to make sure they're the best fish that I can possibly find. So, I'm doing what I can for Peter, and he's not appreciative. I'll tell you that much.
You're very kind. At this point, I would tell a grown man to cut his own fish heads.
Oh, well, I keep him under lock and key in his closet, so he doesn't really do very much. Yeah. He's just too intrusive otherwise.
Wow, well, he seems to be okay with that arrangement, because I haven't heard that. But, whatever works for you two, I'm not going to get into your personal business, as long as he's paying his half of the rent, right?
Oh, well, sometimes, yeah. When I threaten him. The more I talk about it, the more I understand why our relationship is a little rough right now. I think I understand. Yeah.
Well, he's dealing with some things, so, we'll look for some improvements.
Yeah. I'll talk to him. We'll sit down with a domestic counselor. We'll figure things out. It'll be okay.
Okay.
More to come on that soon. I should check out that lilac, though. I'm a little scared of that.
Yeah, you might want to stay on top of that. In the meantime, check out a movie called The Mad Monster from 1942. I think it's about a mad scientist turning people into wolfmen.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but I cannot wait to watch The Mad Monster and hear Peter Lorre talk all about it.
I feel like that title could apply to Swamp Thing and many, many other monster movies.
Many others.
Yeah. The vast majority, perhaps. Well, I can't wait to hear more about it.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios on the other side of Hollywood. where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares.
Hello there, I am Peter Lorre. You may remember me from such hard-boiled classics as The Maltese Falcon and Casablanca. No? You don't remember me? Yes, with Humphrey Bogart. Yes, the Casablanca. No, not with the Marx Brothers, forget it. See, this is what I get for doing something outside the horror genre. Fine, you want monsters, is it? Spooks, specters, and ghosts? Alright, then here is a doozy for you this week. From PRC comes The Mad Monster, starring fellow horror icon George Zuko as a mad scientist who concocts a scheme to transfer a wolf's blood into the hulking, dim-witted gardener. The madman's aim is to sick the genetically engineered Wolfman on those colleagues who spurned his experiments. And if that wasn't enough, perhaps these Wolfmen will be unleashed upon Hitler's German army. A little Frankenstein, a little Wolfman, a little devil bat. This is $1 million idea that simply cannot meet its own lofty aspirations. The direction by Sam Newfield is sadly void of suspense, terror, and mystery. Compounding this is an inexplicable lack of scoring in such moments. The Wolfman, played by Glenn Strange, is a decent screen monster if you can look past his dopey overalls and bucket hat. But Mr. Strange proves worthy of inheriting the Frankenstein monster as he did in the final 3 pictures of Universal's famed series. As the mentally impaired gardener, however, Mr. Strange is tasked with a characterization that is embarrassing at best and offensive at worst, and will let you consider the long history of medical abuse among our disabled brethren. Oh, that must be Matthew home from the market. Oh, I can smell the salty stench of the herring from here. What do you think, Lilac? Ready to have some din-din? Oh yes, I'll scratch your belly. Oh, there's a good girl, good girl. All right, listeners, please check out Mad Monster for yourself. It is no Casablanca, but it might be so bad it's good. As for next time, we will review Bowery at Midnight, where Bela Lugosi plays a gangster with a basement full of zombies. By Satan's beard, with a premise like that, it better be a masterpiece of the macabre. Welcome to Poverty Row Studios, on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst. Movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. I am Peter Lorre. You may remember me from such films as Arsenic and Old Lace and The Face Behind the Mask. This week on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we will bring you another Bela Lugosi outing from Monogram entitled Bowery at Midnight, starring Lugosi and that zany cast of delinquents. Whoa. Let me check my notes here. Believe it or not, but Bowery at Midnight does not feature the Bowery Boys. In fact,
Oh, yes. Yes, it features an equally groan-worthy pack of the undead. That is right. Zombies, ladies and gentlemen. We have another zombie movie, but before you get too excited about the 61-minute film, note that these flesh-eating ghouls are saved for literally the final 2 minutes of screen time. Nevertheless, there may be some sadomasochist pleasure to derive from the rest of the film. So let me tell you about Bela Lugosi cutting a devilish figure playing two parts. That of a nice guy professor by day and his evil alter ego by night. It is this character, named Carl Wagner, who runs a criminal enterprise from a soup kitchen in the slums with more secret passageways than an escape room from hell. Dwelling in the cellar of this hideout is a drug-addicted, maniacal doctor who, unbeknownst to Wagner, has been turning the victims of gangland into undead fiends. In the end, with the police closing in, it is Wagner who becomes the final victim of these zombies. It is a juicy ending to an otherwise bland outing. Fans of Lugosi will no doubt relish the performance, but even for a monogram picture, Bowery at Midnight struggles to make sense of characters, relationships, or plot points. Now, if none of these things matter to you, Bowery at Midnight may be a guilty pleasure. In one scene, there is an Easter egg, a film poster for The Corpse Vanishes that can be seen hanging in the background. All this does is remind you that you might rather be watching that cinematic car crash. It does feature a deadly botanical plot device, an orchid. But never mind, Matthew invents it. Never mind what they have been telling you. My own pleasant plant pet has been nothing but kind. Oh, she may be a little protective now and then. What good pet isn't? Isn't that right, Lila? Yes. You just be you. Spread your roots as wide as you please. Matthew, he is only jealous of your companionship. Anyway, next time on the Poverty Row Picture Show, we will discuss our second George Zuko picture, a film entitled Dead Men Walk for PRC. By George, dead men will walk if they ever come near you, Lilac, with trimming on their minds.
Forgotten mansion deep in
we're
a
gonna
dismal
hear from Peter
swampland.
Lorre here.
A
He's
scientist,
doing all right.
crazed
Sorry
by his
to hear,
lust for revenge,
guy,
prepares the last
Doesn't sound
detail
like
of
he's
a
doing
diabolical death plan.
Yeah.
From my
A few months ago,
Right. I mean, like,
Pinto was a man. A harmless, good-natured man.
and things are a little strange
Look
right
at
now.
now.
between us,
He's no longer human.
You know, I maybe
He's a
knock on
wolf.
the door a couple times just to
Gnarly,
make sure he's still alive, but
ferocious,
that's about it.
lusting for the kill. The beast strikes swiftly. The first.
Well,
Poor,
also
violent,
not the best for me.
fiendish
I'm just gonna throw that out.
What does he do?
Into this crime-ridden
what doesn't he
situation,
know?
a
There's the
reporter
stench of
finds the
fish
biggest
heads all
story
over
of
the
his
place.
career.
There are weird stains all over his room, which like
Doesn't
no
that
human
just roll
eye
enough
can
story
make.
for your paper?
There
No,
are
they
just
get the
like
story.
weird mutterings
He
and
was
his
my
like
friend.
high-pitched German voice.
Joined
I think
by
he
the
has some
girls
bad
he loved.
nightmares because I hear him
He
like tossing and
too
turning
followed
all
the
the time.
gruesome trail of the
I
mad
can't get a
monk.
moment's rest around here.
Every lead proves false.
Well, I hope you figure
Then,
that out soon. In
one
the
night,
meantime,
a strange,
join him
ominous
as he
power
watches
draws this girl
1943
to a rendezvous with death.
picture known as Dead Men Walk. It's about a small town There was a remake with Sean Penn and Susan Sarandon, right?
Oh, that was that?
Yeah, that's the same story, I think.
I need new twin movies though. You know, I was thinking about that with like Sinners and stuff. Like I want to do like a twin marathon. I might have to throw that one into the mix.
Would you include doppelgangers in that?
Yes, I would include. Yeah, I would include doppelgangers. I think.
Yeah.
Like, what is that one film? The Prestige. That's kind of a doppelganger. Yeah.
That's a fascinating subgenre. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot to be said there.
I think, yeah, there's an older one called Dead Ringer, not the Cronenberg movie, but the older one with Betty Davis, I think, where she plays twins. That movie's fantastic. Love that one.
I gotta add that.
Cool.
Lots of good ones out there.
Welcome to Poverty Row Studios, on the other side of Hollywood, where the stars were dimmer and the red carpets dripped with blood. Together we will watch the best of the worst, movies known for their limited budgets, outlandish concepts, and questionable performances. But with enough haunted houses, zombies, ape men, and devil bats to keep you up at night. This is the Poverty Row Picture Show. I dare you to sleep through these nightmares. Hello there, I am Peter Lorre. You may remember me from such cinematic classics as Quicksand and My Favorite Brunette. Truly standouts in my long and varied career. But never did I have the pleasure of playing in a Poverty Row horror film. Lugosi, George Zuko, John Carradine, sure. But did they ever call Mr. Lorre? Well, they did, as a matter of fact, but alas, I was a busy bee elsewhere. Little did I know that some 60 years after my one-way ticket to Terminal Dreamland, I would be resurrected by two podcasters in Minnesota. Oh, they would force me to review classic monster movies in exchange for my eternal soul. But the gig was too good to pass up, and so, in the end, here I remain, a willing player in the sums of Hollywood infamy. And as a bonus, Matthew has opened up his home to me. He feeds me, irons my clothes, and generally worships the ground I float above. But whatever he tells you, I am an outstanding roommate. Oh sure, I may be growing a large carnivorous lilac. That may be our collective doom, but that is second banana to tonight's Poverty Row horror film, Dead Men Walk. About a doctor who battles his twin brother, now returned from the grave as a vampire. Helping the vampire twin feast on the innocent, his horror icon, the one and only, Dwight Fry, essentially reprising his Renfield from a decade prior. But this one in Dead Man Walk would be among Mr. Fry's last roles, and he delivers a sensationally sadistic performance. As a whole, however, it is as if the director took the title Dead Men Walk too literally. Most of the cast sleepwalks through the picture with little visual excitement to keep your attention. Now again, Dwight Fry. That man could act, and I will pour one out for him. Oh, no, Lilac. It is only leftover fish head juice that I pour out. I did not know you were saving that. Lilac, stay down. Easy, girl, easy. No. Oh. Please. Lilac. You are crushing my bones. Please, for the love of Zuko, put me down. You are too powerful. Listeners, help me. Help. It is not my time. I must review our next film, a ditty called The Ape Man, about Bela Lugosi turning into a gorilla.